The human mind is fascinating. And every one of us has the capacity, and to some degree has some level of cognitive dissonance. And it's important to always question your own line of thinking, to question if you are negating logical truths, if you are blocking out part of an argument that maybe would contradict something that you believe to be true. And there are certain tests that people can take that help them discover how much they actually think for themselves versus how much they allow others to shape their worldviews. I mean, just take a simple topic like sugar. If you look through American society, Western society, diabetes is absolutely through the roof. It's an epidemic. There are young people, 20 years old, early onset diabetes, even children. There are people in their 30s, 40s, 50s. Each decade you go up, the numbers just get astronomically worse. And of course, the reason for that is sugar consumption. And all types of psychological studies have shown that sugar is addicting to the human brain. Yet you don't hear all these public campaigns like you heard against tobacco calling for bans on sugar, or like something like cocaine calling for people to be thrown in jail cells. Yet everything we empirically know about sugar, it's absolutely a drug to the human mind. Yet, in spite of that, we have this drug that's leading to the deaths of tens of thousands of people a year, millions of people, and you don't hear a word about it. Yet, you'll get many of the same people who support the war on drugs, for example, who want people thrown in prison cells for maybe doing cocaine or whatever drug they might have done, even marijuana, and they'll spend their lives consuming sugar 5 times a day, every meal they have. Just sugar, 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 and they'll get diabetes, and they'll die early, and they'll have no self-awareness that as they call for other people to be locked in cells for doing drugs, as they call for taxes on tobacco for people that smoke cigarettes, they're engaging in the same type of behavior, and that behavior is resulting in early death. Even to the point where these people will make arguments, well, if someone does drugs, they should be thrown in a jail cell because, that has a cost to society. Well, we have this government healthcare system, so by you ingesting sugar all day, every day, and getting diabetes, that absolutely has a cost to society. And the argument I'm making is not that sugar should be illegal or they should tax sugar. What I'm pointing out is that for people that think this way, that can't acknowledge these basic truths that I just described, that sugar is in many ways the same as cocaine, in many ways the same as hard drugs that people get thrown in jail cells for decades for consuming. And if a person is unable to acknowledge that, the only explanation is they gain their insight, their belief system on what is right and wrong from authority. But authority might not classify sugar as a drug because, well, the sugar lobby pays the politicians a lot of money, and there's a lot of money to be made off of legalized sugar. And in the way that laws get written, I'd love to say it's more complex than this, but it's really how the laws get written. And if you're allowing authorities, whether that's academia, whether that's the media, whether that's politicians, the people that make the law, to determine what is right and what is wrong, what is moral and what is immoral, you really have to look in the mirror, because unless you believe that politicians and the media aren't corrupt, which any objective person knows they are, then you have to acknowledge that your sense of morality, your sense of what is right and what is wrong, what is true, what is false, is made up largely by people, politicians, the media, big corporations, who are amongst the most corrupt people in modern society. And this train of thinking is the result of what happens when we send generation after generation of young minds to a public education system controlled by the government. The teachers work for the government. The curriculum is dictated by the government. And the result is generations of people who gain their sense of what is right, what is wrong, what is true, what is false, what is immoral, and what is immoral from the corrupt institution, from government, the same institution that controls the education system. So that's my thought test to you to enter 2019. So please hit the like button, share this link, and if you want to support me financially, you can do so for as little as $1 a month at www.patreon.com/FFR News. I hope you tune into my live streams. I am very interactive with anyone who has any questions. And as always, power to the individual, and long live liberty.